I'm live! Hey guys, it's Emma Vigling with TYT Politics coming to you live and talking about corruption. Isn't that why you guys subscribe to TYT Politics? You want to hear about some corruption? I know that's at the top of my list. Campaign finance reform, that's what we need to prevent situations like this, which just happened with Rex Tillerson. So crony capitalism has begun in the Trump administration. He said he was going to drain the swamp, but no mas. Rex Tillerson is a direct piece of evidence for the fact that Donald Trump is not going to drain the swamp. So let me get to the story. The same exact day, they're not even trying to hide it, that Rex Tillerson was confirmed he is going to be the new Secretary of State. Republicans and 3 Democrats, by the way, confirmed him. Remember these names. Mark Warner of Virginia, Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota. If you recall, she's the pro-Dapple Democrat, which shouldn't even exist, but she is one of them. So remember, Heidi Heitkamp, a Republican pretending to be a Democrat, voted for Rex Tillerson because she loves that big, juicy oil, and she needs some of those donors in her home state of North Dakota, doesn't she? And Joe Manchin of West Virginia, who is barely a Democrat as well. So these 3 conservative Democrats voted to confirm Rex Tillerson, and you know what? Your vote has consequences. He was going to get passed anyway, but the reason he was going to get passed is because the whole Republican Party and some of the Democrats, including Ms. Heitkamp, are in the pocket of big oil, and this is an exact piece of evidence which shows that. So again, Rex Tillerson, former ExxonMobil CEO, when he left ExxonMobil to become Secretary of State, they gave him $180 million as a retirement package, which you know what means. You go and get into your position and get that deal done with Russia, that $500 billion deal done with Russia that Obama blocked, because that's your new role now, is enrich your former employer, because we enriched you. $180 million. Isn't that grand? You'll get to retire on that and just give us everything we want in your new position. That's your role. America, land of the corporation. So he got $180 million from ExxonMobil CEO, and then directly went into his position, which, by the way, is a violation of Obama's executive order about corruption. He said that you have to wait at least 2 years from leaving business to go into these administrative positions, and the entire Trump administration is completely ignoring that piece of that executive order. So let's get into what happened. Using the little-known Congressional Review Act, the House GOP voted on Wednesday to kill an Obama-era regulation that would require publicly traded oil, gas, and mining companies to disclose any payments that they made to foreign governments, including taxes and royalties. This rule, the specific rule, was created under the very weak tea financial reform bill, DoddFrank, which was passed in 2010 to combat some of the insane trading and risk-taking by the financial industry, which led to the crash in 2008. Dodd-Frank is, in any progressive's view, a very weak piece of legislation, but obviously this was a good provision, and it caught us up to much of the Western world, which has similar kinds of safeguards against corruption, which I will get into in a little bit. By the way, just a side note, reinstating Glass-Steagall would be almost everyone's preferable piece of legislation if you don't live in Washington and you don't work there. And yesterday, Tulsi Gabbard just introduced that in the House, so good on her. Side note a little bit. So, but in Dodd-Frank, this regulation did as follows. It required greater disclosure from mining and drilling companies working abroad. The hope was to cut down on corruption in resource-rich developing countries by increasing transparency. Oh, God forbid transparency. But if you're in the oil industry, you hate transparency. And what person who just got confirmed was just in the oil industry? Rex Tillerson. He got confirmed on the same day that overturning this legislation was introduced. And I also wonder which former CEO actively opposed this legislation in public. Oh right, it's Rex Tillerson, who flew down to DC when Dodd-Frank was being passed to oppose this very regulation. So as soon as he gets confirmed, then this regulation is overturned. That's exactly what the Republicans are saying. Yes, finally we have someone powerful in our government who will just allow the oil industry to run rampant. And it's more than just he ideologically believes that the oil industry can run rampant. He was paid off to, so that lets us do whatever we want. Let's please our donors till the end of time. Great. And you know what? The end of time seems to be coming pretty near if you continue down this path as our planet continues to burn up and it's affecting everyone involved. But they're too short-sighted and money-hungry to care about that. So again, Rex Tillerson flew to DC to lobby against this very specific piece of legislation, this regulation, which the Republicans have decided to overturn now. So let me continue. Supporters of this rule, for their part, argue that the rule wasn't substantially different from similar requirements in Canada and Europe. Foreign companies like BP and Royal Dutch Shell now regularly report taxes, bonuses, and other payments to foreign governments. Why shouldn't American oil majors like Chevron and Exxon Mobil? Right, the rest of the industrialized world has similar regulations, but God forbid America, the United States, the most powerful country on earth, have a similar regulation. So we can at least pretend to be on a similar moral standing as Canada or some European countries who are way ahead of us in terms of combating climate change. So Rex Tillerson, the corrupt Republicans, are less concerned with catching up with the rest of the Western world, more about lining their pockets. Now Chevron should be very happy because all of these overturning of regulations will affect them too. Exxon Mobil is extremely happy because their former CEO is just going to literally put change into their pockets. I mean, I'm not even kidding. That's what this is. As soon as he got confirmed, they just ran roughshod over the Obama era regulations. So this is great for big oil. And then you see all of the brutality and the police presence right now that's going on in Standing Rock, if you're following Jordan's breaking stories, which you should be. So it's the wild, wild west now for big oil and coal and energy companies who are just going to have a field day. And Rex Tillerson is a prime example of that field day that they're having. I hope they have a great time in the short term in their pools and in their jacuzzis and on their fancy trips as they pollute the earth and destroy it for the rest of us. I mean, the greed in this country is unchecked, and that's the problem. There's greed all over the world. But when you have a corrupt government, when you have people getting paid off like this, then that greed actually hurts people. And that's what's happening right now. So as Rex Tillerson bathes in oil, the rest of us are hurting. And that's what kills me about this kind of stuff. And you know what? I have 80 problems with Obama. Probably more. But I can't pretend like Obama is just as bad as Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton would have been just as bad. This is direct corruption, and this is Trump appointing an ExxonMobil CEO to the most powerful diplomatic position in this country. So, look, I'm not going to be that progressive that says the Democrats are worse than the Republicans. I'm not. And this, I think, is prime example of it. Yeah, the Democrats may screw you more quietly and people may not notice, but this is gross. This is disgusting. All right, have a great day, guys.